I would like to start with a brief introduction about all our speakers. And then I will hand over our speakers to start the session. So first, I welcome Juliana. So Juliana is a technical manager at HACCP International, based out of Australia. Juliana is a food technologist with a master in engineering in food technology, and she is passionate about food safety. In her role as technical manager, Juliana assists license holder with technical queries and oversees technical evaluation of products and services submitted for the purpose of HACCP International Product Certification. Juliana is working with HACCP International for more than 9 years now, and her last 2 years engagement is as a technical manager. She enjoys helping HACCP International license holder and the food industry, and she understands how certified products and services make a contribution to food safety. Juliana, thank you very much for joining in. I will introduce to our second speaker, Mr. Satyawrat Kulkarni. We also call Satyawrat Kulkarni as Sattu. He's been also called, as a Sattu. So Sattu is running a consultancy company called RESHQ. Sattu is a veterinarian with a specialization in subject of food hygiene and public health. He worked with Nestle for more than 26 years in a lot of senior position, and that too also in different countries. Sattu was recognized as a global expert within Nestle for HACCP and HACCP, allergen management, and food safety topics. Sattu has also worked with Abbott Nutrition India for close to 7 years as head of quality assurance for India and also for 7 neighboring countries around India. So having expertise in food safety, Sattu has been delivering lectures and speeches at many institutes and forums. Sattu is also qualified as a FSSAI auditor. And currently, Sattu is providing guidance as an expert to various multinational companies and local companies who are mainly present in food and pharma sector. Thank you, Sattuji, for joining on this webinar. I would like to introduce our third speaker, Mr. Kaushik Patel. Kaushik is Assistant Manager for Pest Management and Facility at Abbott Healthcare Private Limited. Kaushik joined Abbott in 2012 as Pest Subject Matter Expert for the sites which Abbott have over across the country. And ever since, he has been leading the pest management program at sites, besides supporting facility improvement initiatives. Kaushik, besides his current responsibility of pest management, is also responsible for looking facility management activities at various sites. Last but not the least, thank you, Kaushik ji, for joining on this webinar. And we have our own speaker, expert, Dr. Ashish Dokras. Most of us know Dr. Ashish is head of market development and technical services at Envu India. Ashish did his MSc and PhD in entomology. He worked with organizations like Godrej High Care as technical officer where he started his career, and he gained a great field exposure to pest management issues. He is working closely with pest control technicians and has been successful in addressing a lot of pest management issues. And since last close to 15 years now, Dr. Ashish have been working as market development and working with Envu, looking after market development and bioefficacy evaluation for various products which we have specific for household and public health segment. Ashish has been contributing. We have been seeing Ashish has been contributing his knowledge at various industry forum in India, like to name example of IPCA, PNP-VAM, PMA, PCI, and lot many other associations. He has been providing training to various pest management professionals, technicians, including government bodies like municipal corporation, and our field team and officials. And he, it's his passion to continuously disseminate information on importance of pest management, pest biology, solution, etc. Right, and he also stressed importance of safety during the application of pesticides. I have my colleague Rakesh Sadani also join. So he will work as a backup in case any technical issue is there from my end. And I'm Manoj Verma, working in marketing team with Envu India, and I'm the host of the webinar today. So next 45 to 50 minutes, we'll be listening to our experts, and post that, if time permits, we will take a couple of questions. If not, if we are over the time, we will surely come back to you with the answers of the question directly to reach out through our team. So please feel free, if you have any question, you can type into the Q&A box, and we will try to address in case in this webinar, or if not, we will come back to you directly. So let's begin with the session with a thank you note again to everyone for joining in. And with that, I would like to hand over it to Dr. Ashish to start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj, and welcome to all for this today's webinar for understanding HACCP and its importance in food this pest management industry. So to start with basic thing, I would if I ask you people that what is the most important thing for human survival, into bracket, after oxygen, then the obvious answer in your mind may come like food, or someone may also say plants and animals because they make our food. So food is the most important thing for human survival, and it is also possible that this food may be at risk due to in the process of preparation. So from farm to fork, it's a big chain wherein the food may get exposed to number of different kinds of in terms of food industry, we call it contaminants. And these contaminants may be in the form of physical, chemical, or biological. So today we will go through this different kind of contaminants or different kind of reasons which due to which food a kind of activity may introduce a biological or chemical or physical hazard, but it's mainly related to pest management industry, and therefore we will consider only chemicals, because the activity of a pest management professionals technician may introduce a chemical hazard in the food, and this may cause contamination of food and thereby a risk to the human being, to the one who consumes. So, but then and during the entire process of food preparation, there are two things that we need to remember. That food may get contaminated directly or indirectly. So direct contamination of food, there are tools like HACCP, that is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. So HACCP is a kind of tool which ensures the safety of food during its process from farm to fork. However, there are many other things which also come in contact with the food during its processing or during its preparation. And these are, for example, if I say the gloves, the hand gloves which the employees wear while preparing a pizza or some other food, they may not be safe. There might be some deposits of some chemical pesticide, and because of which, when they handle the food, it may introduce a hazard. So similarly, non-food products, or for instance, a vessel in which the food is being prepared, it may be contaminated by some chemical, and this may introduce the hazard in the food. So there is direct contamination and there is indirect contamination. So the second kind of contamination wherein non-food products are used, which come in contact with the food, they are also equally important. And that for that, there is there are different a list of big list of chemicals or physical elements which may come in contact with the food, out of which pesticides is one of the element. And HACCP International is an organization which does the certification for such kind of non-food products, which has to be which has to undergo the assessment, and then after the careful assessment, they certify a product or a service which would be fit for use in the food industry, and which will ensure that a food hazard is not introduced till the end of the process is reached. And therefore today we have Juliana, but before that I will take you through a few important products wherein uh, our pesticide products from Envu have been endorsed by HACCP International, and they are recognized as HACCP International certified products. So one of the products is Maxos Quantum, and this is an ant gel. It is a bait, so for used for control of ants, and very effective one. If you put one drop or two drops in a house, you will see the entire colony of the ants will disappear in few 1 hour or 2 hours at the most. Similarly, there's another sprayable product called Keotrin Flow, which is deltamethrin 2.5% SC formulation, which is used for cockroach, housefly, and mosquito control. And this product may also be used in the entire in some specific areas of the food handling establishment, and which is very important to manage this insect pest so that no biological hazard is introduced in the food. Similarly, Responsor is also a general purpose insecticide wherein it is useful for management of houseflies, cockroaches, and mosquitoes. You can see the HACCP logo on each and every product pack shot here. So it's a, sorry, HACCP international logo. And then there is a Solfac EW formulation, which is also endorsed by HACCP International, useful for management of cockroaches, houseflies, and mosquitoes. And lastly, a novel formulation with a combination of imidacloprid and beta-cyflothrin, which is useful for control of cockroaches, bedbugs, and even houseflies. You can see again the logo of HACCP International there. So these are all products which have been assessed by HACCP International and have been proven to, in their assessment that they can be used safely in the food handling establishments when used as per the recommendations. And they have specific recommendations. So not taking much time. They are all experts sitting waiting for their presentation. So first of all, I would request Juliana Elliott to take over from here and explain. Means she will be a resource person for us, the most important resource person to explain what is HACCP International, because there are so many myths and what you call confusions about HACCP International certification. And we proudly say today that we have HACCP International certified products. So how does our HACCP International certified products add value to the pest management industry? And she will be taking you through the technical details. Thank you. And I welcome Juliana for her presentation. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to present. My name is Juliana Elliott, and I'm the Technical Manager at HACCP International.
Juliana, can you try sharing your screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, I didn't have access to share my screen.
Okay. Can you?
She is the guest, so.
If there is beside the mic button, there is a. Can you see the share button?
Yeah, there is
Yes.
just, yeah.
Okay, so now you can share the screen. Yeah.
I think it's saying
the arrow up button. The arrow up button just beside the red leave button, there is arrow up button where it is written share.
Yes, I'm pressing that, but it didn't work. It didn't work before either.
No worry,
Okay.
no worry. So let me share the screen. I'll share the presentation on your behalf. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There we go.
I hope the screen is visible. The slides are
Yes.
visible. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I can see the screen. So yes, thank you for that. Sorry about that. But good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to present. As I said, my name's Juliana, and I'm the Technical Manager at HACCP International, and hopefully I can explain some of those confusions around HACCP certification. So if we just move on to the third slide, today we're going to be asking the who, the what, and the why. Who is HACCP International? What is HACCP International certification? And why is HACCP International certification of pest management products and services important for the food industry?
Sorry to interrupt, Manoj. In the meantime, can you just enable the content and put it in the presentation mode so that the screen will be available, seen on a wider level? Thank you.
It's already there as a full screen, but let me reshare. Yeah. Is it full screen now?
Doesn't appear, but then we should continue, I think, like the same way, in the same way. Thank you.
Click on enable editing. Enable editing button is there at the top. Click on that and put it in a presentation mode.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Gautam. Hopefully now it is full screen.
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much.
There we go. So yes, that's what we're talking about today. So if we move on to the next screen. So who is HACCP International? We are a product certification company, and we certify non-food products used in food businesses with a purpose to reduce the risks of food contamination from products, materials, and services that support the food industry. With clients in more than 40 countries throughout Asia, Europe, and America, and offices in key international markets such as Hong Kong, the UK, USA, Japan, and Australia, we are an organisation with global reach. We can move to the next slide, please. The food industry have to ensure that the equipment, the materials and services they are using are fit for purpose and food safe. HACCP International certification confirms that. Products and services that carry the HACCP International mark are completely food safe. They represent best practice and, most importantly, have been through a comprehensive due diligence process. So on your screen now, you'll just see a few of the brands that have products and services certified by HACCP International. We offer global licenses whereby countries can use the mark globally in all countries. And these companies are companies such as 3M, Envu, of course, BASF and Dyson. But we also offer regional licenses for particular regions. And those companies who have a presence in India are Dr. Sippy, Fosroc, Jotun, Sherwin-Williams. They're all flooring companies. But those who have a presence in India and are associated with the pest industry are, of course, Envu, BASF and HACCP. So how do we evaluate products? We evaluate products from 80 different categories, products ranging from wipes and gloves all the way through to pesticides. Every product is evaluated using a risk-based hazard analysis. And the risks of using that product or service within a food facility are assessed using the principles of HACCP, HACCP. So the next slide is, what is HACCP? And how do we use those HACCP principles in our evaluation? Well, HACCP is an acronym that is used to describe a system that helps manufacturers make food that is safe to eat. The acronym stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, which is up there on your screen. The concept of HACCP was developed by NASA way back in the 1950s, when they started to think about sending people into space. NASA developed the concept of HACCP as a way to make sure that the food the astronauts were going to eat in space wouldn't make them sick. And because it was such a common sense and effective way of managing risk, it was picked up by some of the large food manufacturers in the USA and is now used by food businesses all over the world. So HACCP International used these same principles to evaluate non-food products and services used in the food industry to eliminate the food safety hazards identified, so to reduce the risk of contamination. We always want to reduce contamination. So on to the next slide, eliminate the hazard, reduce the risk. That is the basic principle of HACCP. So when a non-food product or service used in the food industry is used, it may introduce some hazards into the food facility. So when we do an evaluation, we firstly have to identify those hazards. And those hazards can be a chemical contamination, example, a pesticide used incorrectly. It could be a microbiological hazard, which could be something like microbial buildup in a piece of equipment that is designed poorly and cannot be cleaned properly. Or it could be a physical contaminant. For example, something like a cockroach gel syringe tip that is very small and may not be brightly coloured, that could be easily dropped and potentially end up as a physical contamination in the food stream. So we conduct a risk assessment and assess the likelihood and the severity of those hazards occurring if that product is used in a food facility. So on to our next slide, how are Envu pesticides evaluated? Or really, how are any pesticides evaluated who want HACCP International certification? So on your screen there, in the next slide, we will see all the information that is required for an evaluation. We conduct a comprehensive and thorough evaluation on every pesticide submitted for certification. We then also re-inspect the products from time to time, usually around every 4 to 6 years, to make sure the product still meets the strict HACCP international requirements. So on the screen there is the information that Envu was required or is required to provide so we can conduct that thorough evaluation. And we look at things like where the product's manufactured. Is the product manufactured under a quality management system? So the product's managed is produced consistently and of quality. We look at technical data sheets. We look at marketing claims and product labels to just make sure that no claims are made that would have an impact on food safety. And of course, we look at formulation. We look at the active ingredient, but also the non-hazardous ingredients within a formulation. So if we move on to the next slide, the overarching questions we ask when evaluating a product for certification are, does the product make a positive contribution to food safety? Is the product best practice with respect to food safety? And is the product suitable for use in the food industry? And if the answer to these 3 questions is yes, that product is well on its way to being certified. But to answer those 3 questions, on the next slide, you will see 10 key components that we have to assess to answer those 3 questions. And for pesticides, I guess the most important of these components is toxicity. And when we look at the toxicity of a pesticide, we don't only assess the active ingredient, but we also look at the allergen content and the non-hazardous parts of that formulation. So particularly in cockroach gels and ant gels, often an allergenic product is used as an attractant. And because cockroach gels are used in areas such as kitchens and around where food is prepared, it is a requirement of HACCP International that gels do not contain any known human allergens. To us, that's a really big food safety risk. Another key component that's really important when evaluating pesticides is instructions for use. And it's really important that the food safety instructions contained on a label are really specific and adequate to manage the risk to food safety when that pesticide is applied in the food facility. So on the next slide, we have a risk assessment. So once we've identified the risks or hazards to food safety, we then can conduct a risk assessment. What is the likelihood of occurrence and how severe are the consequences if that risk occurred? To do that, we use a risk matrix. So on your screen now, you should see a risk matrix. So for example, a rodenticide. Rodenticides are usually very toxic. So if I was evaluating a rodenticide, I would think about the consequence if that rodenticide was to end up in food, and that consequence would be very severe. So if you look at that risk matrix, we would place that as high on the right-hand side of the matrix, number 5, because it's quite a severe consequence if that product was to end up in food. However, rodenticides are required to be locked in bait stations, and they're not used in food preparation areas. They're usually zoned, or they're always zoned, for non-food areas. So the likelihood of a rodenticide entering a food stream is unlikely. So we would probably mark that as not likely to occur, B, on the left-hand side of your screen. So using this risk matrix, if we tally up high and not likely to occur B, we come up with a medium risk for that product to be used in the food industry. So medium and low risks are usually, they can be managed by adequate food safety instructions on the packaging or point of use instructions. So, you know, we like to see a product fit into that low or medium risk. So on to our next slide. Additional considerations we consider when evaluating a product. In general, every product or service assessed by HACCP International considers whether the product makes a positive contribution to food safety. Is the product world's best practice with respect to food safety? And is the product free from characteristics which would make it unsuitable for the food industry? They're the questions we ask. So, what does HACCP International certification mean for your customers? It means assurance. Products and services that carry the mark have been independently assessed and are fit for purpose. They're products that are well designed. They're products that have instructions for use on labels. So when they are used, they don't present a level of toxicity that is of great concern. They're easy to clean. These are all the things we consider. But with HACCP International certification, a food business can be assured that that product is fit for purpose within a food industry. On your screen now, you should have an example of a food safety program. And you'll see a lot of food businesses have HACCP-based food safety programs implemented as a means of managing food safety and keeping food safe. And as you can see, pest control plays a major part of that food safety program. It's just as important as cleaning and sanitizing, training, hygiene, all those other satellite programs that are important in a HACCP plan. So pest control is crucial. Not only can pests contaminate food, but also pest management operations can impact on food safety if used in a food business. So, for example, if an insecticide spray is applied in a kitchen over food preparation surfaces, or even over food utensils, this could cause a significant chemical contamination of that food source. HACCP International certified both pesticides used in the food industry as well as pest management services. And this assures the food industry when using certified products and services, the risk of contamination is managed. So if we move on to the next slide, why would a food manufacturer choose a HACCP International certified pest management service? Again, assurance. Assurance that the service delivered actively manages food safety risks. If a pest management service is certified by HACCP International, it is required that all technicians are trained in food safety training. And this training is required to be refreshed every 2 years. Basically, we want all food to be kept safe, and HACCP International certification assures us that food will be kept safe. So a HACCP International Pest Management Certification. So if a pest management service is certified, they're audited against a comprehensive pest management standard. The HACCP Australia Pest Management Standard is designed to meet the requirements of the food industry. It's a voluntary standard that can only be certified by HACCP International's product certification scheme. The auditors are all food technologists, and many are exemplar global food safety auditors as well. And during the compliance audit, documents like standard operating procedures, safety data sheets, the chemicals used, scope of work, training records, service reports and site maps are all reviewed. Food safety training is of particular importance, and we provide online food safety training programs for technicians and supervisors. We perform on-site audits to confirm what is written in the SOPs or standard operating procedures are actually being performed on-site. This standard that we audit against has been in operation since 2003. That's 20 years. It's recently been reviewed and it can be downloaded from the HACCP Australia or the HACCP International website. So on to the next slide. If a food business chooses to use HACCP International certified pesticides and HACCP internationally certified pest management services, they are assured they are meeting the requirements of a HACCP-based food safety program, and all risks to food safety are appropriately managed. So on to the next slide. Who conducts all these evaluations and audits? It's the technical team. We are really lucky. We have a great depth of experience and knowledge in our technical team based in Australia and all around the world. All evaluation staff are degree qualified and have industry experience. After an evaluation is completed, the findings are presented to our technical panel for a final certification decision. This panel comprises of our technical director, Martin Stone, myself, the technical manager, and at least one evaluation technologist, but often more depending on the complexity of the product evaluation. So all products, when certified, are classified in particular food zones. So you'll see there on your screen now, all the different food zones. There are 4 of them. And we assess products by how they are used in the food industry, and each product is allocated one of those food zones. There are 4 food zones. Food zone primary, which is for a product that's intended to come into direct contact with food, for example, a glove. Food zone secondary, which are products expected to touch food contacted surfaces. Example, wipes. The splash and spill zone, which is for products not intended to come into direct contact with food, but a product used in areas like kitchens. Cockroach gels and ant gels fall under that food zone. And finally, non-food zone products. They're suitable for use in and around food facilities, but not around areas where there's uncovered food. And that's things like rodenticides. Our certification certificates clearly state which food zone a product is certified under. So on the next screen there, you'll see Envu India's certificates. I think we were told earlier about the products that are certified by HACCP International, the Envu products, and you'll see the certificate there. So you'll see that it clearly shows which ones are for the splash and spill zone. I think they're listed on the certificate on the left, and the products that are certified for non-food zone areas, they're listed on the right. So it's interesting to know why, or the reasons why products fail the evaluation. And the reasons why they do fail is if a physical, microbiological, or chemical contamination risk to food safety has been identified and cannot be managed when the product is used in the food facility in its current form. So there are quite a lot of failures, and often clients will go away and make some amendments, and then they'll resubmit that product for evaluation with success. So the most common reasons why pesticides fail is usually the information contained on the product label. Usually they do not contain adequate food safety instructions so that pesticide can be used safely in and around food. That's probably the most common reason. But they can also fail due to things like caps or tips. I think I mentioned that previously, being too small on syringes, for example. And if they are too small or they're a really a colour that's similar to food, they can present as a potential physical contamination risk if dropped. Or toxicity is often a problem too. Usually that's because formulations contain allergenic material, allergenic ingredients, which makes them unsuitable for the food industry. So finally, my last slide is, how does HACCP certification fit with other standards? So HACCP International Certification Program is aligned with the world's leading food safety standards, particularly those endorsed by the GFSI. HACCP International Certification represents a due diligence process for food businesses, confirming a product is fit for purpose in food businesses that are governed by a HACCP-based food safety program. And that's the end of my presentation. I'm sure there will be some questions which I'm happy to answer later on.
Thank you so much, Juliana. So now we move to Mr. Sattu. Sattuji, could you check if you can share the screen or if I do it on your behalf? Yeah, we can see your screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you see my screen? My slide, first slide?
Yes, we can see your. Yes.
I will try to go in the presentation mode as Dr. Ashish mentioned before.
Yes, yes.
So my screen is visible, correct?
Yes, we can see the slide.
Okay, okay. So I would like to thank Envu and all participants for allowing me to present today, for their patience and time. I would say that Envu has done a great job by organizing this webinar today on an important topic. It is like emerging issue. I'm working in pest control since last 30-40 years. So I remember when the PPE was also not so diligently used, protective equipments were also not so diligently used. And today, Juliana mentioned that even the carriers of the beds, if they are allergen, then this product is failing. So Juliana, I'm very glad that these products are failing, because when I was working in Nestle, we were making infant products which are for preterm born babies, or when I was in Abbott, we are making the products for medical nutrition for terminally ill people, where all these points are very, very important if you are using this, because allergen contamination can be at ppm level. Most of the contaminants as per the international rules is 10 ppm, that is 10 parts per million, and you have to be extremely careful. So I would like to give sort of message that this point is very serious to the audience, that this is this HACCP certification of products and having safe products is something which is picking up. It is sort of emerging issue for many at the moment, but this is very, very important. So I am very glad to be part of this today's webinar. The topic I am going to speak to you is importance of HACCP for pest management companies. I will mention the topics I am covering. I will try to avoid points mentioned by Dr. Ashish and Juliana to use the time judiciously. I hope these topics are covering your expectations. So general information on food safety, the issues which have happened in the paste industry or because of paste industry. So what risks Juliana has mentioned is not a theory. I have seen incidences happening over the last 30-40 years. So we have to prevent them, and hence HACCP certified products are very important. I have also seen in front of me, I was working as pesticide residues lab in charge for Nestle Global Lab, and I have seen many incidences of such contamination either by neglection, lack of awareness, etc. I'll give you real life examples I have seen in my career as a specialist when I was visiting number of locations. And few important takeaways with, I'm a very old man, so some takeaways to pest management industry I would like to give with my experience. So general information on food safety, I would like to start with. Please tell me anybody from organizer or in the audience if I'm going too fast or you want me to change anything.
Yeah, we are fine. We can see your screen.
Okay, okay, that's great. Thanks. So, and I'm given 15 minutes, so I'll try to finish in those 15 minutes to my level best. So food safety refers to handling, preparing, storing food to reduce any foodborne illness. This applies to the pest management industry, pest control industry as well. And this is one of the major concern today in the world. Many of you are serving for these companies, or as it was mentioned in the previous presentation by Juliana, that even if you are serving non-food industry, there are kitchens, pantries, canteens in many big offices now. So it's very important for non-food companies whenever they have pantry or kitchen, etc. And also another point I would like to mention is the consumer safety. Consumer protection is a very big important thing. And it can have serious consequences. For the pest control industry, your clients are your customers. They are having food products which are trusted by the end users. So it's very, very important. I will show you some of the examples where companies had to recall the products. One of the example I'm giving further is Cadbury had to recall their chocolate because there was insect infestation. So who is responsible for this? There are incidences happening of food which compromise the food safety, either because of inefficient services provided by pest control industry or by inappropriate use of the pesticides. So we will discuss this matter further. And Food Safety Act covers pest control in many countries, and if a lot of harmonization is happening, it will come to India. As you have seen now, FSSAI is becoming very, very active. Earlier it was PFA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. It was hardly visible. Now FSSAI is very much active. So these things are coming up, they are catching up, and I believe, I may be wrong, I want to listen to you, that currently the pest control operators do not have much exposure. They do not have updated themselves, and this topic, hence I like that Envu has organized this, and it is creating awareness which will prepare the companies providing pest control services for the future. If I'm wrong here, kindly comment any of the participants. So what issues happen in the pest industry? There are many diseases transmitted by the pests, which is compromising the food safety. Many products are recalled. I know an example where infant formula was recalled because there was salmonella, food poisoning microbe was inside it, bacteria was inside it, and it was coming from the pigeon droppings. We have pigeon problem in many companies, many establishments in India and everywhere. And the pigeon droppings carry salmonella, which causes 10% of food poisonings in the world. Because when the serotyping, those who have microbiology exposure, they might understand it a little bit faster, is that the serotyping is like doing the detective work, where the serotyping of salmonella done on food, contaminated food by government and by the investigators done in the pigeon droppings was same. So it was classic case of transmitting diseases. Rat urine causes leptospirosis. So, and there are plethora of diseases. You know, when I was working in Africa, we have to take so many precautions because there was some issue related of the rats transmitting the diseases, etc. So you must know that food safety is compromised, as mentioned by Juliana, in the pesticide use as well as by transmitting diseases. Hence, the correct use of pesticides and control of pest is also very important from disease point of view. Pest also damage the food packaging. Again, I'll say that rats, they have damaged, they know, we all know that their incisors grow throughout life, and they damage the packaging, which even some of the insects, they cut the laminates and like that. So it is very important. These are all examples where the food safety gets compromised. Since I'm mentioning this to the very elite audience of pest control agencies here, pest control companies here, I'm very glad to speak to you. And these are the points which can be very, very important for becoming a successful pest control company. The warehouses, transportation, the trucks used, everywhere there is a risk of pests. Either they are causing direct issues or indirect issues. Like I have seen in one case, there was contamination of rat hair in the product because it was carried in the packaging material through the truck and through the warehouse. So the next point I would like to touch is the rats gnawing and causing the electrical fires as well. So many issues. Also, I have seen number of number of incidences where pesticides were used incorrectly, either because of lack of knowledge, lack of clear labeling, lack of good packaging. As mentioned in the previous presentation, it has caused illness and in some cases fatality as well. Hence, compliance to food safety is very important. And remember, HACCP is the tool which is forming the backbone of the food safety system. So these are the issues pests are causing. What are the consequences? They ruin the reputation. They bring a lot of financial losses. Sometimes the companies are stopped. I know a food chain in the USA, 40 outlets of the food supply chain, the stores were closed. So it causes tremendous loss because there was some food safety issue identified by the government. You get bad publicity. You lose the reputation. So if your clients are losing reputation, you cannot be away from getting blame, as well as if you do your work correctly, you can be part of the success story as well. So hence the food safety and HACCP is important. So we have to take, I will go a little bit faster now to use the time judiciously and close my presentation in time. Hence the HACCP is very important. We need to take actions very fast before some accident happens, or if our clients and companies where we provide service ask us for HACCP certified products and etc. As the awareness is growing, the demand is growing. So if I see where HACCP stands in the food safety system, at the base of the triangle is the GMP, good manufacturing practice or prerequisite program, where the pest control activities fall. As mentioned by Juliana, it is the foundation of HACCP. It is the basic step for HACCP before you go for HACCP and food safety. Then is the HACCP is the tool. Then there are certain HACCP, food safety systems like FSSC 22000, ISO 22000. They have many other aspects of management like management review on food safety, etc. So they use HACCP as a tool. Our FSSAI, Food Safety Standards Authority of India, and all companies, they use HACCP as a tool. It is extremely popular. It is giving the results and it is becoming mandatory. It is recommended by Food Safety Standards Authority. It has become law in many countries. So HACCP is very important. And then there are certain, at the top of the triangle is the industry-driven standards like Global Food Safety Initiative, GFSI. GFSI is made up of big companies like Nestle and Cadbury and all companies like Danone, etc. All companies are part of this GFSI. As a Nestle representative, I was part of GFSI. So they decide what is needed, what is new thing coming. One of the things which GFSI has thought of is having the HACCP certification, and it is becoming mandatory. Okay, so these type of hazards I will not cover as they were already covered. So I will skip this slide because of the time. HACCP has HACCP study comes up with certain points, critical control points, etc., which I will skip now. The next triangle shows that pest control is part of the important prerequisites. So it is as a foundation of HACCP, we need pest control, and hence you are part of the food safety story. Each one participating in this webinar. So the process and purpose of HACCP certification for pesticides is my next slide. So today we need to demonstrate compliance to the food safety principles. For example, I told you that in infant product formula where I cannot tolerate allergens, if there is any bait to be used, I would like to have a carrier which is allergen free. And in Hindi, it can be said that ये बाल की खाल निकालने वाली बात है, अभी तक हम इसका इतना सोच नहीं रहे हैं. It is extremely granular, finer view of what is food safety going towards. Many of us are not aware. Many of us are learning about this, and we need to be fast. We cannot miss the bus. We have to understand all this, that food principles to be followed, and hence we need good certified products. They are labeled correctly. They are having right carriers. They are explaining what will happen, what will be the consequences in case there is misuse, etc., etc. So this will improve your food safety compliance. This can be customer demand. It is going to come. It can be tool to educate customers. Some of your customers not aware, maybe you can communicate them, they would like it. It will be also good point for talking point for your discussions with the authorities that you are using such and such products. So currently such certifications are voluntary and optional. And I have seen that initially all standards are optional and voluntary. Sooner or they become requirements. Benefits, many of them were mentioned by Juliana. I will try to touch the points which are not covered earlier. I would like to say that point number 6, that is traceability. Suppose you get a bad product. It is either having low concentration, higher concentration, or some other issue related to food poisoning in your product. Do you have currently idea which raw materials it is using, which packaging material it is using? It is called as traceability. I am touching the point number 6. So by knowing these details, you will be able to handle your customers, government requirement, government queries, and many other aspects much better. So you need to be careful. There is only 15 minutes given, and I cannot explain you what all the points in so much detail, but I am touching that. Say you get one batch, you get another batch, you need to note down in your register, etc. Do you know how they have changed the batch from one batch to another batch? Is the material from one batch has gone to the next batch? How the changeover is happening? When you have certified products, you will exactly know that which batch is not performing well. You are able to handle it in a much better way, informed way. So, and I agree with all other points, toxicity and all other issues mentioned, including the packaging fitness, etc. This is very good. So, there are many incidences because of the misuse of pesticides. This is one case from Uganda where the kitchen was sprayed with malathion. Since there was no label, there was no instruction, there was no probably understanding on the person who sprayed, etc. So we need to have products which are labeled correctly. We need to have products which are informing the users correctly, and they are having all the required food safety requirements complied with, which is done by this certification, HACCP certification. I will try to go fast. Here is one example where the worms found in Cadbury chocolate, they had to recall, and it was in India. And all of you might be aware about this, and it causes huge losses. So whatever we have mentioned earlier is happening in real life, and we need to be very serious because pest control agencies providing service can be dragged into it. Okay, so I'm going a bit fast now. I will skip many slides. I would say that HACCP also requires your due diligence and proper documentation. I work with many pest control industries and I have seen not only India, everywhere. Most of the registers are okay. They are not checked by the supervisor. Only technician is signing. So remember that besides using right pesticides, they will your HACCP certification also requires very good documentation, and you must put having good products. You have to record correctly. Many technicians I work or audit them on behalf of Food Safety Standards Authority of India. They don't have training. They don't have training manual. So we have to work on all these aspects. I would like to mention to you. I have seen number of incidences. I have listed here few, probably one I will try to explain is that I have seen I was in charge of pesticide residues for a multinational company where the spraying was done in the warehouse and the product residues were found in the empty packaging material. So we have to be very, very careful in using pesticides. The number of incidences are happening. We have to follow correct labels. Hence, the label should be correct. Hence, the label should be certified. Hence, the HACCP certification. So, this is my last slide now, and I'll take 2-3 minutes. HACCP is food safety requirement and regulation in many countries. HACCP is recommended by FSSAI in India. It is currently voluntary. It was also voluntary in developed countries before. Later on, it became mandatory. So HACCP certification is available from Quality Council of India and many other certification bodies in India. FSSAI audit protocol. I do a lot of audits, and they cover pest management, and freedom from pest is required as per the FSSAI. FSSC 20,000 certifications and many other certifications demand elimination of pest. In all these audit, pest issues are one of the non-conformances, and we have to do better. So pest infestation is a major reason for the product recalls even today worldwide. We need to understand food safety and train our employees. We have to manage our records well. We have to use approved pesticides at right concentrations in the right way. We should know the applicable regulations. We should be aware about certification scheme and all the emerging developments, and we must ensure food safety and consumer safety. Thank you very much for your listening. Over.
Thank you very much, Satuji, for sharing very interesting information. I know it unjust to limit you on. Unfortunately, we had limited time. So now I would quickly request Mr. Kaushik Patel to please share his presentation. Thank you. Yeah, Kaushik ji, we can see your slides. Thank you. Go ahead.
So I'm not taking too much time. So what is the basic benefit in the food industry of HACCP certified product? So as presented by Mr. Sattu and Juliana, so most of the thing cover from this slide, like material, like identify food safety hazard relating to formulation of the product and design. So pesticide manufacturing company need to design products such kind of thing to avoid any food contamination or uses of such kind of product in a food industry are not contaminating or not giving residual impact towards the food. Like toxicity, like minimum toxicity, the design during the formulation of product contamination, and they also provide the operating and user instruction leaflet to which each product. So how to use this product, what is the dilution ratio of this product, and how to avoid food contamination during using of a particular product. So this is the traceability already prepared by Mr. Shattu, and packaging and labeling. So packaging and labeling to avoid, like sometime you carry pest control technician or carry the pesticide container inside the food industry, and there might be, the packaging material are not sufficient to not sufficient, so there might be chance of spillage and leak from particular container. So it's also important part of this HACCP CCP certified product uses in your industry. Then, like what is the main benefit? As I am a I am taking service from multiple pest control agency at a site. So this HACCP certified product avoid poisoning customer, uh, our customer like infant and like hospitalized patient and like a kind of thing. So we avoid poisoning our customer. No residual impact post application of the particular pesticide. Uh, Ensure compliance with relevant like a regulatory requirement and other authority requirement are fulfilled by this product. Then increase product quality like uh, based on instruction of HACCP CCP certified product uses, you avoid a pest ingress in your facility or avoid chemical contamination during the treatment or multiple things. Then build customer trust with hygienic product and premises. If your facility are pest free, so you get no complaint like presented by Shatu, like one warm incident in Cadbury chocolate. So similar kind incident uh, uh, may like harm your reputation, brand reputation, and consumer trust. So uh, improve and enhance food safety process like we are also HACCP certified to plant. So using HACCP certified product, so we assure the all risk associated with the particular product are calculated, and there is a they are well defined CCP and OPRP during the then a reduction of in a production loss due to pest infestation or chemical contamination. There is a chances of high losses of production or patches. So which using this HACCP certified pest control product, you avoid such kind of losses in future. So thank you, team. That's it from my side.